Kessler, State Senator for the 2nd District, and I'm proud to be here today with all the working men and women and people who are concerned about what's going on in Before we begin today's program, I'd like to lead us first or have Bishop Joe Thomas lead us in prayer. Bishop Thomas.
Most holy and all eternal God, we come just to say thank you. Father, we thank you for all of these great people of this great state of West Virginia who travel many, many miles just to support this program. Father, bless us in a special manner. Bless our political leaders in a special manner. Father, in the name of Jesus, we ask that you allow us to come together as one band of Christian love to agree to disagree. But most of all, Father, we are trusting you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Oh, thank you, Bishop. If that doesn't get you inspired, nothing will. But you know, we're here also not only on today for Show Up, Stand Up, but today is Veterans Visibility Day. Are there any veterans in this crowd? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. And those standing next to those veterans, I ask you right now to tip your hat and shake their hand to those folks who day in, day out have fought so hard, given so much for our state and our country. Veterans, stand up proudly. You know, a couple of weeks ago when we decided to throw this rally together, we called it a Show Up, Stand Up rally. This week, yesterday, when I was in church, I think I was praying to the good Lord, asking him, Bishop, if he'd make sure that he'd make everybody have safe travels here. But I think he misunderstood me. I think he thought I said, Snow Up, Stand Up rally. But it's good, and oh, it's cold. It is cold here today. But it has not chilled my heart, nor has it weakened our spirit. And it inspires me and the men and women out here, and the men and women in that hall, and the men and women throughout this state to know that you care enough to be here today to care about the people and the direction of our great state of West Virginia. And as we're here today, I ask you to not only be respectful to the veterans who are here, but be respectful to the state police, the officers, and other public servants who are here today to try to maintain order. Be respectful not only to them, to their directions, but also to the legislators who are here. This is not a mob, this is a rally. This is to have your voices heard. Because there's a couple things politicians are, remember. Your voice and your vote. Now, I can't change a darn thing about what happened last November. I can't. The votes are passed. There's going to be votes cast on this floor. I don't know that we're going to win many of those. But your voices every day has to be heard, not only today, but every day in your communities. That the people that feel that the agenda that's being pushed is radical and wrong for the people of the state of West Virginia. When they're hurting you, when they're reducing your wages, when they're asking for introducing legislation to give you the right to work for less, that's wrong. When they're talking about changing our education system. And I always thought education was about the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic. To me, what I see coming out of the agenda is radical, reckless, and wrong for our children, for our teachers, and for our school service personnel. As we stand here and we look over this river, I don't have to remind you the last year we were down here and couldn't even take a drink out of that river. And now they're introducing a bill to reduce our water quality that is so extreme and so radical that Freedom Industries itself would be exempt from the bill they introduced. That's wrong. When coal miners, do I have to remind you of Sago, Aracoma, Upper Big Branch? And yet they introduce legislation under something feels good, but ain't good. Provide Jobs and Safety Act. I don't think there'll be any jobs, and I know darn well the safety won't be there because it's a step backward. When we in this state are stepping back and watering down and reducing mine safety, that, ladies and gentlemen, is wrong. You know, they want to do drug testing for workers. 2 or 3 days ago last week, we were out downstairs in front of a bunch of folks for the correctional officers who work so hard in this state. And one of the young correctional officers took the microphone and had been working for 9 months, got a degree in criminal justice. And you know what? She said on the wages we pay her, she's on food stamps. But they want to drug test her. Drug test her because she needs what we can't give her. And that's enough food to live on. We need to be worried about raising the wages of our highway workers, our correctional workers, our Department of Human Services workers, all the workers of this state. If you pass prevailing wage legislation that drives the wages down, that is wrong. Would you agree? Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Wrong! They want to close the courthouse doors. You know, they respect every amendment. And we respect the Second Amendment, the First Amendment. We're out here talking, that's the First Amendment. Right to bear arms, the Second Amendment. But yet when you want to go to court and hold people accountable for hurting you, for hurting a member of your family, for hurting your business, and you want to seek relief in the courts, they want to nail the courthouse door shut, except for those who are privileged, and that's wrong. In fact, there's radical. Is it right or wrong? Wrong! In fact, there's a bill out there, and I think you guys can check with your lawyer friends, to try to do away with deliberate intent. That the widows and orphans of Upper Big Branch and Aracoma would not be able to bring a cause of action against Massey today for the deaths inside that mine. That's wrong. Right or wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you being here today. It is your job every day to tell the truth. I promise I will do it. You need to echo and amplify what's right and wrong and what's going on here, because only your voice will stop what's going on. I can't turn back the clock, the election is behind us, but I can certainly let you know as you talk to your friends. Is anybody out here happy about the group they hired, the group they voted for, the group that's running this place? No! Well, you let them know that, because there are consequences to elections, ladies and gentlemen. When you stayed home, when your friends stayed home, and you pushed the wrong button, this is what you get. This is what you get. Right or wrong? Wrong! All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have some other people here that want to speak to you. And when they're done, I want you to get in your cars. If you see your legislators, get in your buses, get in your cars, get home safe to your families. But this rally is not just about today. We may have a rally in every county and every district in this state until the people of this state understand what's right and what's wrong. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Now I'd like to introduce the new Vice Chair of the Democrat Party, Chris Regan, who'd like to speak with you as well. And then Natalie Tennant's right on deck.
Get mail, Jeff! How's everybody doing? You know, there were some people talking last night. They sounded like Johnny Ringo from Tombstone. They said they didn't think you were going to show up. Looks like you're their Huckleberry. I'll tell you what, I don't see one person out here, but if there's somebody here, who looks overpaid. Is anybody here overpaid? No! Everybody here making too much money? No! Same people that thought you wouldn't show up, they think you're making too much money back in this building here. What are you going to tell them? Is that wrong? No! Anybody think the water's too clean? All of a sudden you can see right through it, from one side of the glass to the other. Anybody upset about that? Yeah. They think the water's too clean. You believe it? No! Then you gotta stop them. You gotta stop them. They think you're overpaid, they think the water's too clean, they think our coal miners are too safe. Are they too safe down there? No! Do they need to take more chances or less? Less! We gotta tell these people, I mean, they should have known that the people that are strong enough to build our roads aren't scared of the stuff. The people who have enough guts to walk a beat or walk a cell block are going to show up even when it gets cold. the people who are patient enough to teach in our schools, the people who build this state every day are going to show up. And we got to show up every day, not just today. Because this storm's going to blow itself out, but you can't. You can't, because one day's not going to do it. One day's not going to do it for this. One day's not going to do it for their whole agenda. If you want to keep your wages, if we want to keep our jobs, if we want to keep that work in West Virginia that we pay for, you got to be here every day. You got to be out in the counties. You got to blow from here out into the counties and tell the thousands of people who didn't make it today what's going on here. Because it is a radical agenda. And it exists to take from you and give to who? Billionaires and millionaires. This didn't start yesterday. There was an opening bid for West Virginia in 2004. $3 million they put down. And they said, and for the sake of the kids. And it's been millions and millions and millions more. And it culminates in this. They're going to try to take your wages and say they're doing you a favor. Is that a favor? No! They're going to try to take your rights and say they're doing you a favor. Is it a favor? No! Then you got to stand up, not just today, but every day. With Senator Kessler. That's right. They are burning their money. You can't turn on the TV. You can't turn on the radio without hearing what? Money. Organized money. And what's it here for? Are they trying to give it to you? No way! They got to carve out a little bit more for themselves. That's their agenda. That's what you're fighting. So remember to fight it every single day. Not just today, but every single day. Now here's Natalie Tennant. She's going to tell you more about it. It's wrong what they're doing. Stay in this fight. Thank you.
Good morning. Good afternoon, my brothers and sisters. Today is President's Day. We are celebrating our heritage, our democracy here in these great United States of America. And whether it's sunny or it's snowing, we'll be here. And traditionally, this day is about coming to the Capitol and standing up for who we are and what we believe in. And I thank you for being here. I thank you for coming out here to be here for all West Virginians, not just for yourself, but all West Virginians. And I want to say that I am a proud member of the AFSCME Union, a proud member to be among you. And a proud member of the union and a proud member of a military family. So thank you all who are veterans as we celebrate our veterans today, and not just today, but every day, as we should be celebrating all of our workers in West Virginia. Yeah. Because we don't ask for very much, do we? Because our workers will give their lungs, will give their backs and their knees and their bodies to build our infrastructure, to power this country. And what do we ask for in return? Fair wages, exactly. But safe schools, good schools, safe neighborhoods, and fair wages, right? An honest wage for an honest day's work. It's a simple creed that we say over and over, but we see what's taking place now. So we have to stand together. And we can do that as we stand together here in these halls, because that's what this day is about and this Capitol is about working together and standing up for all West Virginians. Now, I want to tell you what took place today as I walked around the Capitol and I saw so many friends, so many Union brothers and sisters, so many fellow West Virginians. It was interesting. I was handed so many of these cards, already filled out. You might not be able to see this up close, but you might recognize it, especially those who filled it out and handed them to me. You are here today to have your voices heard. You showed up and risked your safety, risked your time, took away from your family to be here to stand up for our state. That is your voice being heard here. We'll continue to do that for our veterans, for our teachers, and for our children. And by standing up here, you are showing who you are as West Virginians, but by signing here too is your voice. This is a voter registration card. And I was surprised, pleased, and kind of didn't believe it, Senator, when so many people were handing these over. because you're here today to show your force, your commitment, who you are as West Virginians. But when you sign up to this and when you go vote, you are showing your voices. And we listen to your voices, and that's our job here in the Capitol, to listen to your voices. So fill these out, drop them off at the Secretary of State's office, and we'll get them to the proper county clerk's office for you. Thank you for being here. Be safe getting home. Continue to stand up for all of us in West Virginia.
Proud to hear from Kenny Perdue, President of the AFL-CIO. Kenny Perdue.
I want to thank everybody for being here today. But I want to think about President's Day. It was the presidents that give us the right to be able to be here. President Lincoln gave West Virginia freedom. The veterans in the audience, please raise your hand. Let's give them a round of applause. It was the veterans that gave us the right to stand here today to say no, no, and hell no to what's going on. Thank you, veterans. Senator Kessler, thank you for doing this today. Everybody out here, they work in everything, every condition, and they travel well. And I would imagine the next time we call you in a week or so, you'll be back here, won't you? Promises were made to you in the last election. Elections have consequences, and we see the consequences going on in the Capitol here today. Promises were made. I want you to ask your legislators if they're going to keep their promises, or they're going to take everything that you fought for so many years away from you. You deserve better than that. You deserve an opportunity to wage, to go into the mine and come out safely. When you have an education to teach, that you're able to teach. Don't have it taken away by prevailing wages being taken away from you. It's our right to work put in place when it lowers every standard we've worked for the last hundreds of years. I will say to you, ask your legislators if they're going to keep their promise or they're going to continue to break their promise. You ask them that question at home, no matter where you're at, you ask them that question. Keep your promise to make sure workers are treated right in the state of West Virginia. Thank you. We will see you again.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you. Next, we'd like to hear from Dale Lee, who's the president of the West Virginia Education Association, on behalf of the teachers of this state. Dale.
Thank you so much. And what a beautiful sight that is to look out and see the thousands of people standing there who are willing to stand up for all West Virginians, not just a privileged few, but for all West Virginians. See, that's why we were founded. We believed that all of our kids needed a good education, not a select few. This is about standing up and taking West Virginia back by storm. The one thing that our political leaders understand, among everything else, is that the people are here to voice their concerns. Folks, it's time for us to unite. Whether you're a teacher, whether you're a plumber, whether you're a miner, whatever, it is time for us to unite as West Virginians so that we have our voices heard. The people here were elected by the people, for the people, not for a select few. And it's time that we remind them of that. It's time that we tell them, you were elected to support and to do the things that are good for us, not for Wall Street, not for the national agenda or anything else. This is time for us to stand up, unite, and all of us have our voices heard. Folks, I want to thank all of you. I want to thank Senator Kessler and our senators and delegates who are here that listen to you each and every day, because they listen. It's time that we demand that everyone inside the Golden Dome listen to us. Thank you so much for being here.
Next, we'd like to hear from your friend and mine, Mike Caputo, also works and represents the United Mine Workers of America. Mike.
Thank you, Senator. How about a big hand for Senator Kessler, who brought us all together today? I don't come to you today as a delegate. I come to you as a proud 39-year dude. They was going to raise all boats. They ain't going to do nothing but raise the yachts, brothers and sisters. They're not going to raise the John boats. They're not going to raise the rowboats. They're not going to look out after people like you and I who built this state. I want to tell you, my idea of a better West Virginia is not taking over the House and the Senate and cutting your wages. My idea of a better West Virginia is not taking over the House and the Senate and rolling back coal mine safety 50 years. My idea of a better West Virginia is taking care of the people that built this state, and that's the folks I'm looking at right now. Now, we're not done yet, and I've never seen organized labor back away from a fight. And if it's a fight they won, it's a fight they'll get. When organized labor calls on you to be here, you don't worry about the snow. You don't worry about the roads. You gather your troops, you come to Charleston, and you make your voices heard. That's what we gotta do. Now, we need a commitment. We still got a lot of friends in the Senate. We still got a lot of friends in the House, but we need you at our backs. We need you down here. We need you showing you're not going to stand idly by and let them take from you and your families. Your kids want to go to college just like the rich kids want to go to college. You want to have a car in the house just like the rich kids want to have a car in the house. So I'm going to ask you a question. If we need you, will you be here? Yeah! More people! Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Let's kick some ass!
Now the hardest job in the building is who wants to follow that? Tim Miley, our good friend and your good friend, fight for the working men and women and the people that build this state. Whether you're a union, non-union, if you're a worker, if you're a teacher, if you're somebody who cares about West Virginia, this man, Tim Miley, cares for you. Tim Miley?
Thank you, Jeff. Do we have any folks from Harrison County here? Well, thank you for showing up on this nasty day. And number one, I want to ask you to be safe going home. You'll be safer on these roads than if the bills that pass here, you'll be in your workplace, let me tell you. Because the bills that they're passing with this new Republican majority takes away all accountability for your employers. We're passing a bill over the objections of your Democrat minority that will allow employers to deliberately and intentionally expose you to risk of serious harm or death with little accountability, if any. And that's wrong. That's wrong. And the only way they'll listen is if you all that are here today, and your families and your friends and your neighbors who didn't come down today, reach out and talk to every one of these delegates and senators and let them know you're going to hold them accountable. If they don't want your employer to be held accountable, by darn, you're going to hold them accountable for voting for such trash. And that you'll hold them accountable at the next election. So far, we're a little over the halfway point. We've seen bills that cut the prevailing wage. We've seen bills introduced that establish a right-to-work state. Hasn't gone anywhere yet, but it's introduced. I know. Believe me, I'll be voting against that one like I will the prevailing wage when it comes over to the House. We've seen bills, as I just mentioned, that enhance and increase the likelihood that you'll be hurt in your workplace with no accountability for your employers. But we've seen nothing that will benefit the state of West Virginia in the form of what are we going to do for our roads? What are we going to do for the people who are addicted to drugs? And that hits all of your families and communities. Nothing that really will benefit the state of West Virginia, but only those bills that will attack the working class West Virginians and attack your wages, and that's wrong. And thank you for coming here today to stand up and show force about what you will not put up with and tolerate. Because let me tell you, those inside recognize that if you're out here on a day like today, then believe me, on nice days, you'll be down here in force. And we need that continuously from now to the end of the session. And I want to thank you again, you brave souls out there, men, women, young and old, who've come down here. I'm standing under this shelter here. I'm not getting snowed on. But you guys have shown your commitment and dedication. And those of you who have come down to stand with us, we will stand with you when it comes to vote on bills on the floor. Thank you very much for your commitment, and don't let it end today.
We got a freshman senator who came down to Charleston thinking things were going to be really good. And guess what he had to run into his first day he got sworn in. Tell him what you think about how things are going down here. My good friend, Senator Mike Romano from Clarksburg, West Virginia.
Boy, does he look good out there. I'm so proud of every one of you guys for showing up today. And believe me, for those of us that are on the losing end of every damn vote for working people, it makes us feel good. Believe me, thank you. You know, since I've been here, and we're halfway through, I haven't seen one bill for a working person yet. Not one. The first bill we passed out of the Senate extended the number of weeks that employers could take to give you your final paycheck if they terminated you from employment. Now, who does that benefit? Not you. No way. They're after prevailing wage. Now, how can we say workers deserve less money? They're after right to work, and they've got the so-called Payroll Protection Act. That's a recipe to end organized labor in West Virginia, and that's what they're after. And that's wrong. Rolling back safety regulations and cutting the penalties for violating them doesn't hurt anybody but workers. And I've watched the complete decimation of the civil justice system. And don't forget what the civil justice system does. It puts every one of you on an equal playing field with CEOs like Blankenship, where you got to make him come down and answer for his wrongs. And that's what they're trying to eliminate. Listen, it's about the money. You follow the money. It's about the richest, and they're doing everything they can to pick your pockets. However, they're short-sighted because putting money in the hands of working people means everybody does well. If you get an extra $5,000, you're going to buy a new car from our president. You're going to build a house. You're going to put your kids through school. That's damn right. Putting money in the hands of working people is the answer to America. That's the American dream. And let me tell you, and I see it around here and I believe it, this is a war on working people in West Virginia. Are you with me in this war? Are we going to win this war? Thank you for coming. Be safe going home.
Delegate Mike Farrell from Marshall County wants to say a few words.
Thank you, Senator Kessler. Thanks all my friends from Marshall County, my former students out there. And I want to welcome you all and thank you all for coming. Your livelihood's at stake, folks, and the livelihoods of all your families and all the West Virginians. I'm here for that, to help defend that. And I'm also here because, as Senator Romano said, follow the money. And following the money got 4 of my brothers, 4 of your brothers, beaten in the last election. Delegate Phil DeSario, right here. Delegate Dan Poling, Delegate Dave Walker, and Delegate Richard Iaquinta. Those are my friends, those are your brothers, and we need them back down here to protect you. As you've heard, their agenda is extreme, it's radical, it's wrong. All they want to do is cut the wages and the standard of living of the working people in West Virginia. Yeah, they want to make West Virginia open for business. They want to make it open for business by bringing in substandard laborers and undocumented workers. That'll make it better for West Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a slap in your face. It's a slap in all of our faces. Okay? And how do I know this is wrong? 100. I have over 100 letters from contractors supporting prevailing wage. You know how many letters I have telling me to repeal it? 6. What's that tell you? They're for you. You guys are my friends. You're my friends. You are the ones that are my neighbors. You're the ones that buy houses. You're the ones that buy cars. You're the ones that buy groceries. You coach the local youth teams. You participate in civic activities. You send your kids to the local schools. You go to the local churches. You go to your local doctors and hospitals and physical therapy facilities. You pay West Virginia personal property and estate taxes. You are West Virginia, folks, and don't ever forget that, and don't let them take it away from you. In conclusion, just remember who actually supported you in this from the very beginning. Never forget who supported you. Remember that even if some of these people switch because they get cold feet, they're not your friends. Keep that in mind. Remember how they voted or whether they took a cowardly walk but chose not to vote. You know, they're repealers. They've said that many, many times. Well, repeal starts with R-E-P. Republican starts with R-E-P. What I'm saying, folks, is in 2016, repeal the Republicans. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Next, we got Senator Bob Beach from Monongalia County. Bob.
Welcome to the people's house, your house, folks. And I'm glad to see each and every one of you here. Let me just say something I know to be true. It is cold outside right now. It is, but guess what? It's even colder inside because there's 90 hearts in there that are about as cold as steel. And they're taking a cold knife to your paycheck, to your way of life. They're taking a cold knife. Yeah, they should be here, but you know what? They're listening right now. And they're going to see you on the news tonight. And you need to remember something. That's exactly right. You want your voice heard. We hear you. They need to hear your voice as well. But if you're inside the building, like Mr. President, like Senator Kessler said, show respect. You can get your message across just as easily being as quiet walking down that hallway. And a very effective message. But you're good, hard-working people, and I'm glad you're here today. But you have to remember there's cold hearts inside here that's trying to take everything away from you. Bring them out here! Again, there are things I know to be true, but they'll be watching. They hear you right now. They're probably peeking out the windows behind the curtains right now. But I need something from you before I give up this microphone. One thing, I have to be sure before I leave this microphone that you're not short-term memory. That come the next election, you're going to be the one who changes things for us. Do we have short-term memory? No! Can't hear you. Do we have short-term memory? Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for being here and showing us what you need. And when you see those Republicans, and they are Republicans, you need to let them know that you remember. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Beach. Again, I remind you guys, truthfully, you will not get your point across by threatening anybody. Truthfully, that does not work. If somebody tells me, Jeff, you do this or not, they usually aren't going to get their way. Be respectful to your legislators. You may see some of them, and I disagree with them, to be respectful. There's one guy I do agree with, a new delegate from Ohio County, Sean Fluharty.
There's a banner out there that has some importance to me. Let's wave out local IBW 141 banner as high as we can right now. My father has been a proud electrician out of IBW Local 141 for 35 plus years. And I grew up as a union kid knowing what that fist was all about, knowing that it was about workers' rights, knowing that it was about brotherhood. Do we have any brotherhood here today? Yeah! Do we have any brotherhood here today? Yeah! Now you've heard this radical agenda. You've heard about jobs, jobs, jobs. They love jobs so damn much, they want you to work 2 or 3 of them just to survive. We can't have that. You know the agenda. We need you now more than ever. This is an agenda of protectionism. Protecting the likes of Don Blankenship. Does Don Blankenship need protected anymore? No! Well, maybe criminally because he's currently facing a criminal indictment, but that's a side story. But what we need is you to rally now and for the coming days. because as I stay out here in the elements, as you guys and men and women work hard in these elements like my father has, I had to be here today, and I'm working like hell inside this building for you tomorrow. So let's all get together, keep our brotherhood strong, and I'm proud to be here with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. I think you've earned us a keeper. Next, I'd like to hear from my good friend, Senator Doug Facemeyer from Braxton County.
Well, how does it feel to get screwed? Not in America, folks. No, we've came too far for this. Listen, what we're talking about now is the right for you to raise your children. Take care of your family. That's not asking too much. That's what this country was founded on. Come on now, let's let everybody know this is bullshit. Look, the only thing you all want to do is have a job. You want to go to work. You're proud of the work you do. All you want to do is have an opportunity to raise your family in the greatest country in the world. And they're trying to take that from us. Do not let these people piss down your leg and tell you it's raining. Thanks a lot for coming down here. You're showing that you do care. This means a lot to all of us that's trying to fight the fight. This is just round one. The good thing about government is there will be tomorrow. Thank you for coming out. Be careful going back, and remember this. Thank God for America, and thank God for the working people of this country.
Thank you, Senator. Next, we'd like to hear, because we're going to try to get this wrapped up by 1 p.m. so you can either get back in these halls and see your representative, or get on your buses and your cars and get back home before the real bad weather gets.
I tell you, when I came down here this morning, I thought, oh my God, they're going to have to move it inside. Hell, you all could have filled up the whole boulevard today. You know something? I looked at the snow out here, and it looks like Christmas. And it is. It's Christmas for the Chamber of Commerce. And guess who's buying the presents? You are. You're paying for the presents. You're paying for the presents because they're taking away the safety that you've come to expect after 60 years under Democratic rule. This is not a new agenda. They have been proposing these bills for the last 10 years since I've been here. We're the ones that have stopped them. Delegates like Phil DeSario, who was here, helped us stop those bills. Ladies and gentlemen, right to work, coal mine safety, they keep baiting and switching. They keep trying to tell the public that they want to create jobs, and they haven't passed a single bill this year that will create a single job. Everything has been to create profits for big insurance companies, big out-of-state corporations, and big business. You all need to stand with us so that we can stand with you. Thank you for coming out today.
Jeff Howard.
Hey, I wouldn't miss this for the world, guys. You know, I've never seen the front of the Capitol like this before. I've been here 9 years. I've never seen people show up like this before. Never really seen people get screwed like they've been before either. This is what it takes. You know, 2 years of election days, we need every one of you all out there working hard just like you are today, here working for your job. We're here to protect your job. So keep us here. We're trying. Woo!
Thank you, Delegate Edwards. Thank you. Next, we got Mike Pushkin. Pushkin wants to sing. Pushkin, I'm sorry. Pushkin, Mike Pushkin, a delegate. And he also knows how to sing. Want to say something first?
How y'all doing? Lovely weather we're having here today, huh? And lovely people out here. I see real West Virginians out here today. Anybody out here real West Virginian? Good. This is who we're working for, real West Virginians. We're supposed to be up here passing laws to help improve your life, not to improve the life of out-of-state business interests, taking home 6-figure-a-year salaries. We're out here to work for you. All right, so let's show them who the real West Virginians are. Y'all want to join me in a song?
Y'all ready to sing? All right, it's not a real rally unless they have a sing-along. Anybody here know the state song of West Virginia? We'll do it in the key of G. That's God's key. Almost there, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like the breeze. Country roads, y'all sing louder. Take me home, a little bit louder. To the place I belong, West Virginia, my mama. Take me home, country roads. All my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to the water. Painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country road, sing, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, my mama, take me home, country road. Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, my mama, take me home. Country road, take me home, country road.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you again for being here today. Thank you again. Today is not the end. It is the beginning. We're going to do what's right, and we're going to make sure they know what's wrong is wrong. Thank you very much. Get on your buses. Get in your cars. Get home to your families. But do not forget what's happening in down here every single day to hurt you. And make your voices heard every day. Stay